Hey everyone! So, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that some of you may be here and checking out this video. As promised, I said I would film another video based on my personal experiences with anxiety and along with weight issues. Hashtag weight problems and fat problems. So basically, welcome to the second episode of A Fat Girl with Anxiety. So the topic I want to talk about today is obviously, the topics is always going to be anxiety and weight. But as the channel will go on, it'll show how my anxiety has taken over a lot of parts of my life that didn't even involve weight anymore. Like, it wasn't about that anymore. It's just different things. I'm actually currently having a lot of anxiety right now because I'm struggling with different jobs and trying to figure out what's best for me and what's best for my own benefit to make sure I'm stable enough to be able to take care of myself. And right now what this segment's going to be about is one event that I will now look back and know that I don't struggle with it anymore. So right now we're still talking about the whole anxiety with weight and anxiety overall. So story time. Okay, so when I started having anxiety, and just to recap, I didn't know it was anxiety when I was younger. I really didn't. I just thought I was not crazy per se. It was just more like I knew something was wrong. Like, I knew I shouldn't feel this way. I had a feeling that not a lot of my friends felt this way. And I remember a specific time where I would be in school and we would have to go line up. Remember, like, the line captains, the leaders, and you'd have to line up in your groups by your class. Once the bell rang from recess, this was in I went to a Catholic school, so this was from kindergarten to 8th grade, but I think we had different lunches. So either way, I think what I remember it most was when it started was closer to 5th grade, 6th grade, where the craziest thing would happen. Let's just say we're playing outside in the sun and I start to sweat and I feel sticky, I feel gross. Like, obviously you feel that way. So when we would go make the line, I would be in the line and I would have a person in front of me and a person behind me, and I would start freaking out. I start freaking out because I'm sweaty. I didn't get a chance to wash my hands. I didn't feel okay. I felt like everyone was staring at me. I felt like out of place. I felt huge. I felt like this huge monstrosity that people were going to stare at thinking, what is wrong with her? And I don't know if it's ever happened to you all before, but do you ever have that feeling where you can't have people behind you because they're looking behind you and you can't see their eyes? And that's what I would feel. I would feel that everyone was staring at me from behind me. And I wouldn't know what remarks they were making. I wouldn't know what looks they were giving me. It was very stressful, and I didn't like that feeling. I hated that feeling. I hated the idea that I had to change my ways because of the anxiety I was getting. And I would go to the back of the line sometimes. I would say I want to go all the way in the back, and some of my friends were like, no, just stay with us. And I'm like, no, I want to stand all the way in the back. I want to be the last one. So sometimes it helped when I was in the last place because there was no one behind me. I was like, okay, no one can look at me. No one can judge me for how I look. No one can look at me like I'm gross or weird. And it was tough. It was very, very tough. And it was sad to say that held me back from a lot of fun times in my life. Because of that sensation, it gave me little hope and little energy to want to go out and have fun with my friends. An example is, if I ever felt that way, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to be out in the sun where people can see me. I didn't want to be in public. I just wanted to stay home and not be seen. It had a lot of issues with people looking at me. And so that would continue on for a very long time. I would feel it in the most inconvenient places possible. It would happen at home. It would. And the best part was, okay, I'm at home. It's okay if I feel like this. No one's going to be here to bother me. My mom's in her room. if the family's wherever, like I can be in my room and just be safe. And I don't know about you all, but sometimes my room is the safest place to be. Out of anywhere, it's just the best place to be when you're having like your moments. So with all that being said, it's just, it was very sad and heartbreaking to know that I let a lot of that get in the way of me doing some fun things. I didn't like having anxiety that people were going to look at me and make me feel like the way I look is shameful. So whenever those things would happen or those episodes would happen, I didn't want to go, or I'm already somewhere, I'm already in public, which was even worse. It was hell because no one could understand and I couldn't even talk about it. I held it all in because I didn't have anyone to talk about, and my family is not very like aware of anxiety. Like they're not, like they know like angustiada in Spanish, you know, it's like nervous, but we're talking about like full-blown 1,000 thoughts per minute happening because of one little thing that was just there, and it could be gone, but you're still thinking about it. So another example was just like when I would be in an amusement park, and let's just say it was hot and we could feel gross, or it was just too much for me, and we were already in public, and I started freaking out, and I freak out more in those lines, and I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to go on the ride, so I said, no, I don't want to go on the ride, I don't want to go on it. And then my family was like, my family or friends would be like, why not, come on, it's just a ride, like don't worry. And I'm like, no, it's not even about that, I just don't want to be there. And they're like, okay. I couldn't tell them like it's because I had so much anxiety of people staring at me because of my weight. I had so many thoughts put into my head thinking that that's what was gonna be looked at because of how I feel. So every time I felt like gross, or I felt unattractive in a way or unappealing, all my anxiety would break loose, and therefore I didn't want to be around anybody because I thought I was just gonna be stared at for the longest time. And it's sad because that's not how it is. It's not. And then don't mean to say it in a negative way, but you'd be surprised how little people care about each other nowadays. Like, first of all, they're on their phones most of the time, so odds are they're not going to be staring at you anymore. So even if you're wearing like a super hot outfit, you won't really get that checked out. I mean, if you do, nice, good. But yeah, it's very very intense. It's very threatening. It was very threatening to myself because I let it get the best of me most of the time. So when it started in middle school, I remember it mostly started there. I didn't like sitting in the middle of the rows. I wanted to sit in the back at the edge. But so when I came back from recess, like I felt sweaty and gross. I wanted to wash my hands. And to this day, I still do that. I wash my hands constantly when I feel like I'm gross. When I feel like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna stare at me. Let me just wash my hands. And this might sound so stupid, but you know what? I'm not the only person out there that suffers from anxiety. We all have our ways to cope, and we all have our ways that will get us through the quick minute of suffering in our heads. So whenever I feel like stressing out, I feel like, oh my god, like I'm gross, I'm like ugly, I'm huge, I'm fat, like my hands are dirty, I can't touch anything. It's all ties in together. And so when I go to the bathroom and I wash my hands, there's always this thing when I say, if my hands are clean, I am clean. And I know it sounds probably ridiculous to other people, but I hope to those who have their own little nicks to get through their anxiety understand where I'm coming from. Like, I kid you not how many times washing my hands have calmed me down, like just have taken it all away for just even a minute. Even if it was still there, it was toned. It was like, okay, you're still there, anxiety, okay, but you're not like as threatening as you were before. And it's crazy to think how little confidence I had in myself because of that. Because I wasn't strong enough, and I was a kid, you know, like I said before in my last video, kids are impressionable and they're gonna believe what they've been told. So I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I wasn't strong enough or strong-minded to think, no, I think I look okay and there's nothing to be freaking out about. That's not how I thought back then. So let's say 11, 10 years old. We're talking about at least 13 years later. It's cute, huh? At least 13 years later, where I'm at the point in my life where I'm okay. I'm okay if I do feel gross from being sweaty. I'm okay that, you know, I might be a little heavy or my outfit might be a little too tight. I'm okay, you know? I tell myself that. And what I honestly do on top of my like anxiety, besides washing my hands, I still do that to this day. Like if I'm ever too hot, I go to the bathroom and I'm like, let me just wash my hands. And I wash them, I wash up. Sometimes I wash up to here because it just feels fresh. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. What helps when I feel uncomfortable in my body is I do drink a lot of water. Part of it was I didn't drink a lot of water as a kid, so it probably was from dehydration. I'm not going to get into the whole biology of that. I just know that whenever I drink a lot of water during the day, I really do feel a lot better. And I think it's just because it's like an OCD mixed anxiety thing. I have to drink all this water because I know it's going to make me be okay throughout the day. And that's how OCD is, because on top of my anxiety, I have OCD. I have to do things in repetitive patterns, and if I don't do it, I feel like something's going to happen because I didn't do it the way I did it before. Or if things are not in the same place, it's just not going to be the same way. It's another story. But I just wanted to share this story with you all, and I really hope that it reaches out to one of you. Even just 5% of this can reach out to you. I don't mind. I just want to know that, I just want you all to know actually that we all have a moment of weakness and we all have a moment of distress where we don't know what to do and we don't have anyone to turn to. And that's why back then I didn't have anyone to talk to about this. I didn't think I needed to. I thought I was just messed up. But now anxiety is still with me to this day, but when you have the right people that will support you and just talk you through it, it makes it a whole lot easier. So share me some of your nicks, some of your little like stuff that you do to calm your anxiety down. You guys already know 2 of mine because I have a bunch. I try everything. I do the best that I can when it's around, and just for my own health, not because it's stressing out other people seeing me, okay? Like, don't ever think that because you're having an anxiety attack, you should consider about how the other person is feeling. No, that's not the way. That person should be there for you because they don't understand what's going on in your mind. So the best that you can do as yourself as a person is just work on yourself and think about what can calm you down. What are things that you like? Like when you're stressing, think of something positive. Think about maybe if you like dogs or cats. Did you see a cute cat today? Do you know someone that has a cute cat? It's all up to you. You're in control of it. And even though you feel like you're not, it's okay. I just hope that you all benefit some part from this story. And I'll be coming in with more stories. So this one, to recap, is basically just about how now today I'm not as stressed about when people stare at me or when I feel gross or when I feel sweaty. If I feel sweaty, okay, you know what? That's okay. I can wash my hands and calm down. It's to that point where now it's like I just do one thing and I'm okay. Rather than back then where everything was coming to an end. Everyone was staring at me. Everyone thought I was ugly and fat. But that's not the case. It really isn't. No one's staring at you. No one's looking. It's all in your head. And I know people tell you that when those with anxiety, it's all in your head, because it is. It really is. But that's what I have to deal with too. It's all in my head. So I have to get the logical side of me to fight with the anxiety side of me and be like, this is how it is. Do not overthink it. We all love to overthink sometimes. But for the benefit of our mental health, it's best to just take things one thing at a time. Okay, well, that's a long story. Enough for today. If you'd like to hear more, I will post them up as much as I can and just share my experiences by different types, different styles, and have them reconnect later on as well, because this will connect to a future time that really affected me, hurt me for 2 summers in a row. So more detail on that later. But just know that I do love you all, and I wish you all the best. For those who are going through anxiety right now or any mental health, personal issues, I hope that you know that there are other people that are going through the same thing, similar, or just a tough time, a rough patch between a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, families, and most importantly, within themselves. So again, you guys are all great. Remember that you can achieve what you want. Remember that you're not alone. That's the biggest thing. I know you all have someone that's willing to lend an ear. The biggest step is you opening yourself to that ear. Okay, you guys have a good time, okay? And stay strong. Bye.